I'm Pulkit Garg, founder Aanya Wellness, which is a preventive healthcare discovery platform based on natural healing. And corporate wellness is one of our main verticals where we focus on the wellness for employees in any organization and across different verticals. So today I have got Kumar Mayank, who is the founder of Zimyo. And Zimyo is one of the leading HR tech startup in the HR space. So Kumar, why don't you share what Zimyo is exactly about and what it has been doing?
Well, thank you for the introduction, Pulkit. Zimyo is a HR tech startup. What we basically do is that we offer our HR solutions to the SMB at large. So India has a working population which is over 600 million. And the idea is that we would want to cater to this segment with our own solutions and not just financial wellness like what Aanya does. We are more about also the well-being of the employee, not just from the HR perspective, but also the financial perspective. So while the organization installs the HR and uses it, the employee gets to use our financial benefits platform, which is like a loans, advances, insurances to give him coverage during this pandemic and months. Yeah. The idea is that we really want all the employees, especially working in the SME space, to be financially independent, to have the real employee experience without any caveats to their professional life and the personal life impacted with the COVIDs and workarounds in times to come.
That's pretty amazing, Mike. Financial independence is one of the most important factor when we talk about the wellness or well-being of any individual out there. So, we all are just coming out of pandemic right now. We just had the third wave reaching its peak. So, as per the predictions of experts, we will be soon moving out and things might get back to normal. But March 2020, if we just go back 2 years approximately, March 2020 was the time when everything was in a havoc. Everything was chaotic. Nobody knew what to do. We all had to face the biggest lockdown we will ever get to see in our lives so far. So how, as an organization, what measures were taken by Zimyo and what are the things you see from the industry as well?
Well, Pulkit, for one, we realized that the industry is going to move towards work from office to a work from home setup. It will be a hybrid setup in times to come too. But also the employee experience actually came to the center stage, right? The great resignation is actually a thing. If employees do not get the right benefits, the perks, the incentive to stay in the organization, they'll move out. And it's not just with MNCs people, it's also with, the day-to-day engagements. The SMB employee, the factory worker, everyone is now thinking about how their journey in the organization is. Is the organization caring about them? Do they have any financial backup in case something happens to them and lives? And let's be very real about it. Lives have been impacted. Everyone, especially in NCR region, has got somebody or else impacted. Maybe some have even lost their life. So for them, it's no more a thing which gets talked in theory. It's real. And they would want that coverage from the organization, that wellness attitude, that care for them, or else I'm seeing mass exodus even at factory levels, like someone giving a financial coverage, maybe a insurance coverage, people moving organization just with that small incentive, right? So it's no more a thing, it's real. Employee benefits and wellness is gonna take the center stage. And more importantly, if you want to retain employees as an employer, you have to be aware of employee wellness and employee experience as a central theme to your HR practice. Also, as an employee, if you're watching this, there are a lot more organizations which now actually care for you, and you actually have a lot of plethora to choose from where you want to spend the majority of your life, right? So the financial benefits which are not earlier there are now is now a central theme to good organization, and you should scout for good organization to spend your career in.
Totally agree, Mike, on this. During November and March, when we were having a word with our clients who even cater to around 40,000 plus team sizes across the globe, they were facing a lot of attritions in their organization, and it has been an industry phenomenon. So why, I would like to understand, a lot of people really focus on, or we have got these jargons coming up in the industry, work-life balance. How do you really find that sweet spot, that is, this is the right work life balance. We have got MNCs where the working hours for employees, and specifically female employees, it has gone beyond 16 hours as well. And then we come back and say that we want a better work life balance, but how do you really manage the work pressure and personal life? So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I've come to the realization that depending on the organization you're working in, you get to choose your work life, right? You don't get to choose your personal life, because work is not an optional, right? If your organization says you have to stay there from morning 10 o'clock to evening 9 o'clock, you have to there, or else they might ask you to just put down your papers, right? So the idea is that please be very wary the organization you're choosing from. But as an organization, let's say if we are to talk about that, there are companies who are now even at work from home forcing people to work 16 hours. Then my of course, as the earlier topic was, that the employee now has options that they can choose which work life to manage. But also now, talking as an individual, I would rather work with an organization, or rather have Zimyo, a culture which allows it to be flexible in its orientation. So first, basis the need, you need not have everyone in work from office, you need not have everyone work from home. Choose what suits you best. Hybrid, please work with hybrid. Second is that work necessity? Is coordination the challenge? Figure that out, right? But if as an organization we are very clear that work ends in that hours, 9 hours. So when we are giving you that flexibility, that we are not calling you after 7 o'clock and we are not pestering you on a Saturday or Sunday, you have to respect that, right? So during the work hours, work for the organization, and then the organization respects the space and allows you to live your life, right? So my point is, those boundaries have to be talked down, right? You as an individual have to be cautious about your own wellness, right? You cannot be in an organization that is forcing you to work 12 hours. But also you yourself are gullible, are guilty of not approaching your HR and talking that, my personal life is getting messed up. I need to, be let go of in the limited hours that I want to say. Now, the balance, of course, is at individual levels, but organizations can definitely practice some work ethos, like having a roster, right? So you have to understand what are the needs. Like some people are they okay to work from 12 to 8 maybe, and some people early morning 7 to 6. Flexible work timings are a new norm. Hybrid cultures are a new norm. Even if you want, a lot of employee engagement activities are a new norm. So I know that people working in the same 8 hours are seeing much more productivity because the company is getting into wellness activities and a lot of engagements which went missing with the remote working setup coming to force, right? So if as a HR you're wary about this, right, and you're putting this to force, I think the perfect work-life balance can happen, and some companies are actually executing it to beauties. Again, just a word of caution: we are not the developed nations. Of course, we have to grow to that stature, both financially and economically, to understand that 3-day work week or maybe a 4-day work week is well suited for those developed nations. We are developing nations, right? So though some companies are putting into place, but even a country like us moving from a 6-day week to a 5-day week, I think it's an achievement in itself. Respecting boundaries after office hours and weekends, I think it's an achievement in itself. So let that be the new norm. Let just office hours be the new norm, and office hours means a max of 8 to 9 hours. If that is there, work-life balance is going to be the new norm, and I think if not the organizations, the employees and the candidates will coerce the company to switch to this new norm. Hope that answers the question.
Totally, Mayank. I can't agree more. But I was recently reading a report by SOCM in which the report said more than 50%, more than half of the employees that are working right now across the nation, they are complaining that their companies don't have required wellness initiatives in place, the measures that are required to be put in place. That is my one point. And second point, I would like to know your views, as you just rightly mentioned about the working hours. In countries like Norway or in the surrounding countries to Norway, reaching out to your employees after working hours is an illegal offense. Companies can be sued for that. Do you see that happening anytime soon in India, or is it a very far-fetched dream for our Indian corporate system?
Well, so I'll answer the first question first. How does the employee come across if its company is coercing it to work him or her to work more than the requisite hours. First, who's the chooser now? I think it's the employee. If you are watching this, know that you're a chooser. If you are the HR, know that you are no more in a commanding position. Situations have changed. You have to be very wary about it. You can't retain a great workforce if you're not adhering to the new norm. The new norm says be employee-centric, respect professional personal divide, let him, her give the space and let them grow organically. Don't force them into getting things done. It wouldn't work, right? Short term, some companies are thinking it might work, but I think the fallout is going to be phenomenal. I've seen some companies go down just because they were forcing people to come to office in this COVID era, and they just had a fallout. Businesses started crumbling and they just couldn't recover. So you as employers are in a choosing position, and you as the organization have to understand that the employees are now in a choosing position, and if you're enforcing it, it wouldn't work, right? And sooner or later, the realization will come to both the parties. Now, talking about the second part, which was that if my opinion is to count that working hours and post-working hours work, or maybe calls even will not be entertained in the country like India, I think it is going to be the norm too. We might be, so it's not a far-fetched dream. We are not like 10 years, 12 years away. I think it will happen in the next 4-5 years itself. Again, we have a cultural inheritance, so it might not happen that the suing and the legal actions might come to place, but definitely frowned upon, and definitely social ramifications of the activity in place. We have to be cognizant that now the employee is more independent, more choosing options he has. The work cultures have to be respected. The professional and personal boundaries have to be respected. Companies who are still going to be in dissonance of this, they are in for a hard time, right? So to answer the question in one line, it is going to be a new norm in the next 4-5 years, is my personal opinion.
That's great. So Mayank, I would like to conclude this session with one last question. With the topic of this session was supporting employees through wellness initiatives. So what are the wellness initiatives that Zimyo as an organization has put in place when it was, incepted, founded, I guess around 3 years back? 4 years, 2018 was the year. And how did you see it evolve during the pandemic and where it is today?
Well, I think the fundamentals never changed, right? So we had very clear demarcations on professional personal life. We don't reach out to anyone after office hours. We don't reach out to anyone over weekends. Work means working hours. Even in working hours, all communications is through a professional channel. So please, if you're watching this, have professional working channels established as an employee and as an organization, more for the organization, because then nobody intrudes into the personal space of the employee, right? WhatsApp is still number giving, right? Somebody from the group might just call up and reach out to one of your employees. Shouldn't happen, right?
Yep.
So if you cut down the avenues, right? Let's say the professional channel allows you to be engaging with your colleagues and team by the office hours itself, then I think that demarcation happens automatically. What we also did was that we ensure that even while working or during the remote work, we have this sprint activity, right? So this is a team sprint. We ensure that at least within the team, you talk to itself. And then every weekend, Friday evenings, we have this town hall. So you get the culture. Everyone thinks, even if it's top down, coming from Mayank or my partner Ajay, everyone in the company is cognizant about the transparency, about all the policies in place, like POSH and maybe activities and maybe sick leaves and all the employee wellness activities that we undertake. Fourth, we also have a lot of town hall activities, which can include something like a yoga session to a mental wellness session to maybe even so today I think so we are having this comedy show, right? So this of course gets the team motivated. Also during the COVID, one of the things we did very sacrosantly was get performance measures implemented across the organization, which means we use OKRs. So this, I think people think that it's enforcing, but it's actually a wellness thing in which you bring transparency to the organization. Yep. So you are having fun, you are having town halls, you are having the team meets, and everyone is very clear with the objectives.
Yes.
Right? And again, the communication is also. So communication is there, performance is there, your team connect is there, Communication again, internal and external is there. Also, what we did was that we don't allow any of our customers to reach out to anyone on personal engagement. Imagine we are not even allowing our leads to talk to their subordinates after office hours or maybe on personal connections, right? So, external communications, we safeguarded our team. So, again, these are small things, but look at the bigger things: paternity, maternity leaves, of course, that are there. But the bigger things is that we allow people to have the leaves auto approved. We don't ask questions, right? So you can just inform over our own Slack parallel engage channel. So we have our own communication channel, and you can just ping up that today I will not be there, and that's it. What freedom, you know? So you can be, if you're not feeling well, you can come late to the party, like the working hours. Sleep till 11 o'clock, or maybe if you say that today I just want to go out and watch a movie, you just inform that I'll be out for a movie 12 to 4 o'clock, come back, get the work done. So as I said, OKR allows us, that gives us that freedom that we don't question anyone on the work, right? And this flexibility of timings, right? It allows the employee to feel that freedom that, you know, till my work is getting done, I'm not being questioned.
Yep.
And I think that is the best employee freedom you can give it to them. Again, we have built incentives over and above the variables. So that is another great employee activity that we have undertaken. And finally, we allow our employees to build their own engagement activities, right? So you would want to plan an activity, you can do it at the forum. The team supports you. We do a lot of employee engagement activities like certification courses. We have this education budget, which allows the employees to go and train for themselves during office hours. Some of the tribe members, Zimyo tribe members, are even opting for courses online, right? So I think that's a win for us as a culture thing, right? And the freedom that your CEO even is at a ping away, right, on our collaboration tool. So accessibility, communication, transparency, performance, we have worked through all of them, and I think what we have built is one phenomenal. Oh, by the way, we enjoy a Glassdoor rating of 4.9. Just shameless promotion on my culture thing.
No, that's amazing, and Mike, I could not agree more on the communication front. Bringing that boundary between your personal and professional communication. So even in Aanya Wellness, what we have done is we are moving up from WhatsApp. WhatsApp was very extensively being used, and we had certain instances where even at night messages were being sent on the group.
Exactly.
So to bridge that, to ensure that our team members are getting disturbed during the night, we have brought in tools like Asana is there, Slack is there, and I guess Zimyo has got an internal tool that it provides to employees as well, to its clients, for internal communication, external communication as well. So these tools have really helped us. Like for Asana has really helped us quantify and measure the quality of work that our team members is doing. So as we're talking about performance measurement, so Asana has really helped me, our team, our organization to do that. So concluding the session with this, thanks a lot, Mike, for coming in, and for all the HRs and employees watching this video. We do understand the current scenario is highly dynamic. Things are changing even faster than we can think. So take your time, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them as comments or drop us, a message on our other social media channels, or you can even reach out to us through our contact us from our website. We're more than happy to support you in your specific questions out there. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Mayank.
Thank you, Pulkit. Thank you, everyone.